Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Royal Daily Tea. Happy New Year. Happy 2025. Now is my favorite time of year where we dust off our crystal ball and we make predictions for the royal family in 2025. Now, this is for entertainment purposes only. I am not a clairvoyant. I am not seeking out the stars or using tarot cards. I'm not Meghan Markle. I do not channel the dead. I am simply doing this for entertainment purposes only. But I will admit, a lot of my 2024 predictions actually came true. So we're going to see what's going on with the royal family in 2025. So you guys, you know what to do. Sit back and relax, grab yourself a beverage, and let's get into the Royal Daily Tea. Now, before we get into my brand new 2025 royal family predictions, I thought it would be fun to look over my past predictions that I made for 2024 and to see what I got right and what I got wrong. So let's go ahead and go into my 2024 predictions. The very first one I predicted for 2024 was that the royal family would make a major update to their website, meaning removing Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, and Prince Andrew from the working royals. Well, unfortunately, that didn't happen, but they did make some updates and a lot of corrections of titles and that kind of thing that they did need to make. And they did do a slight overhaul of the website. But who knows, maybe this year they'll finally remove those three people from the page. The second one is I did predict that the royal family was definitely going to be more visible. They were going to get more into the digital age of social media, showing a lot more behind the scenes. And I was correct. We saw that William starred in a documentary for his homelessness, as well as the Earthshot Prize report. And there was some fun interviews that he did for social media where he was playing darts with Hannah. Queen Camilla starred in a groundbreaking and very moving documentary about domestic violence. And this had a very huge impact on a lot of people. And we have King Charles, who is going to be in a brand new documentary in 2025, where he sits down with Idris Elba in a new documentary talking about UK's biggest challenge. So we have him coming up in a BBC documentary. So again, the royal family is front and center. They are using television and they are using social media to become the new digital age of royals, and I am here for it. I love the fact that we can see them more on TV and social media. Now, unfortunately, no one could have foreseen the illnesses that took the royal family with King Charles and Catherine, the Princess of Wales. And so my next prediction was that William and Catherine were going to ramp up their royal appearances, but unfortunately, they were sidelined due to these illnesses. Now, I did predict that the York sisters, Beatrice and Eugenie, were going to step up in small roles to help out the royal family. Well, I would say I was correct on that. Princess Beatrice did step in and do a couple things for Prince William for the Earthshot Prize, and I believe she did a couple of other appearances for royal family events. So I'd say that's a half point for that one. Well, I did predict that WME was finally going to drop and Meghan Markle and give her the old heave-ho in April, but that has not happened. But I don't think they've done much for each other, but apparently she's still signed, as far as we know, with WME. Now, I said that Meghan Markle was going to become the queen of the cameos and that she was going to become desperate and she was going to start appearing on TV shows. She hasn't done it yet, but I kind of suspect it's happening in 2025. Now, I did predict 2 royal babies, so I have to give myself a little pat on the back. The Jordanian royal family welcomed a little girl this year, and Princess Beatrice announced that she is expecting baby number 2. And I did correctly predict that she would announce by the end of 2024 that she was expecting a second child. So I predicted that Prince Harry was going to lose his lawsuits. Well, at this point, I don't know if he lost or won them. They're kind of up in the air because he's appealed all of his lawsuits. So I would say that's a negative, not right or wrong. It's kind of in the middle. I also predicted that Samantha Markle would win a 6-figure lawsuit. Well, that did not happen, but their lawsuit is ongoing, so that could happen possibly in 2025. Now, I did predict that Meghan and Harry would have a lot more problems with Archewell, with staff and financial, and I would say I'm correct. They have lost more people. They lost quite a few people in high valued places, not to mention they've had some weird issues with their taxes. So I would give myself a pat on the back and say I was correct on that one. I also said that they would have major marital issues, that cracks would begin to show. And again, I would have to say I am correct on that one. We've seen big cracks with major solo appearances and a separation. So I would say that is 100% true. So those were my 2024 predictions. Now let's get into the 2025 royal family predictions. So now let's get into my 2025 royal family predictions. So the very first one is that I believe Princess Beatrice is going to have another girl. I believe she's going to have 2 daughters, and her second one will be born sometime in the spring. I also believe that Catherine, the Princess of Wales, will slowly start coming back to work, and she'll have some huge news with her early years program. They're going to have some major new thing coming out in the works, and that's going to be a very big project. So I'm really excited to hear about the early start program. I believe Prince William is going to take on more impactful, bigger roles within the royal family, and I believe he is also going to launch a brand new campaign on his own, something that is like an Earthshot Prize and his homelessness project. He's going to have a whole new thing that he is going to start this year, and it's going to be very, very successful. I also believe that King Charles and Queen Camilla are going to become very busy, and they're going to do a lot of successful tours this year. I believe they're going to be very, very impactful, and that 2025 is going to be a good year for them. I also believe that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle will finally be dropped by Netflix by April of this year, although it's going to be more of a change to their contract, but it's not going to be on the same level as it was before. Again, her cooking show, I do believe, is coming out in spring of this year. I do believe they are going to launch the cooking show, and there's going to be some kind of cooking book or some kind of recipe PDF, something like that you can download. So I think they're going to keep the contract around because of the cooking show, but it's not the same deal. The original deal is going to die out, and they're going to be on a project by project basis, but I don't believe the cooking show is going to be a huge ratings bonanza. It's going to be kind of like a cross between her podcast and the H&M documentary. There's going to be quite a few people in the beginning, a lot of hate watching, but I believe it's going to be a dud, much like Polo. Although I do believe the cooking show is going to do better in the ratings than their last 3 projects have done, but it's not going to rival the H&M documentary. It's not ever going to repeat the same success that they initially had when they were trashing the royal family. So I do believe they are going to be released from their original contract, and they might get a lesser one, but it's never going to be like it was before. But I think it is probably going to be a mutual parting of ways after her cooking show flops. That is my opinion. Now, I do believe that Meghan, ARO, is not going to launch ever. I don't think they're going to get the trademark in March, but I do believe she is going to launch a lifestyle brand under a different name, but it's probably going to be fall of 2025. I don't believe it's going to be together by spring, but I do believe that she will launch a lifestyle brand under a different name in the fall. But I do believe ARO is DOA. Now, Meghan Markle, y'all, has returned. The influencer has returned back to her roots. She is now on Instagram under the name Meghan, like Cher or Madonna. It's Meghan. That's right. She's just singular. Not even Markle, just Meghan. Of course, Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. Now, she has appeared on January 1, letting the world know, I'm back. I'm back. So we will see what this grand entrance into her Instagram future is going to be, and we'll get into a deep dive into her return in another video. But I do predict that Meghan Markle is coming back, y'all. She's coming back to social media. But I don't think it's going to be the raging success that she is predicting it to be. But I do find it very interesting that she's trying to come back. So again, I think Meghan Markle is realizing that her entrepreneurial aspects, her investing is not really working out, and ARO may never get off the ground, and their Netflix is barely hanging on. So I think that she's thinking, I got to do something. So she's coming back as an influencer. We'll see what happens. But I think in the future, we might see more of Meghan Markle on Instagram. Now, I do believe that Harry and Meghan's vacation home in Portugal is going to be completed, and we're going to see a lot more of little Harry and his little friend Nacho over there in Portugal by themselves. I don't believe he's going to be with Meghan and the children. I think we're going to see Harry acting like a bachelor over in his little boat hole in Portugal. So there's going to be more separations, and Harry's going to spend more time apart from Meghan Markle in Portugal. I also believe that Harry and Meghan are going to continue their solo separation, their twin flame tracking, where they're living completely different lives. It's going to continue well until 2025, and I think Harry's going to be spending a lot of time in Portugal in his vacation home away from Meghan and the kids. I also believe that by the end of 2025, Harry could buy himself a home or like a condo in the UK, and he could be going to the UK more without Meghan Markle. Again, is going to keep the rumors floating that they are separate, they're living separate lives, a divorce could be imminent, and I think throughout 2025, it's going to happen. I also predict Meghan Markle is going to Canada in February for the Invictus Games with Prince Harry. She's not going to let that man go this alone, no way in hell. So we're going to get a winter wardrobe from Meghan Markle in February, guys. Meghan will appear at the Invictus Games in Canada. That is my prediction, but I do not believe she will go to the one in 2027 in Birmingham because I believe they'll be divorced by then, but she is definitely going to the Canada Invictus Games. That is my opinion. I also believe that Prince Harry this year will lose his lawsuits. I believe all the appeals will be done and it's going to be over. He's going to lose the Home Office, the one against the news group for the phone hacking. I believe this is the end of the road of the vigilante spoiled prince trying to act like he's Puff the Magic Dragon, slaying his arch nemesis, the British media. It's the British media. I think we're finally going to put this thing to bed. 5 years later, we're going to put the damn thing to bed. I think he's going to lose. He's going to look like a moron. And hopefully he'll lose a couple millions of dollars. Again, David Sherborne is getting the guest room ready in his vacation home for little Prince Harry. So those are my predictions for 2025. Do you agree with my royal predictions, or do you have your own that you would like to add to the list? Leave me your comments with your predictions, or if you agree with mine, down in the comments below. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you, and I hope to see y'all in the next video. Bye, guys.